Hello viewers, it's Ultimus53 here, and welcome to review number 35. And today I'm going to be reviewing Doctor Who Series 3.
So, Doctor Who Series 3, what did I think of it? Well, I thought it was one of the best David Tennant era series slash seasons ever. Um, it was a really good series. I actually last week for Series 2 I forgot to mention that I was supposed to talk about the Christmas special because every season slash series ends with a special. So I'm going to first talk about the special, which I was supposed to talk about last week to end the episode, but I forgot because um, that's just me. I do forget sometimes. So so starting off with the end of series 2 was the 2006 Christmas special titled "The Runaway Bride." This was actually a really interesting episode because the Doctor had just lost Rose, literally just lost Rose, and he he looks um towards the doors and to only see a woman in a wedding dress who's trying to go to a wedding, and that's Donna Noble, who later becomes his companion in series 4. Um, so he's kind of shocked. She's like, well, actually, she's more shocked than he is. He's like, what, what? He just keeps saying what, and she's like, "Where am I? Who are you? Where the hell is this place?" Well, that was actually the end of the episode, but it continues with the Runaway Bride, which is the special, and it's basically a one-time companion, Donna Noble, in a wedding dress the entire time. The plot of that episode was she was teleported from her wedding by particles to this. It's supposed to be this spider ship thingy. It's this spider villain thingy. This is the anorak the anorectic or whatever. I can't remember what the alien name is, but it's this spider creature, lady person thingy. And she basically takes Donna Noble's to be husband and basically forces him to uh, give Donna Noble coffee that has this stuff in it that causes her to teleport from her wedding the moment she's getting married to the Doctor's TARDIS. Um, and it's really awkward because she was going to get married and she ends up going in this. They have a little introduction. Um, it's like, I'm the Doctor and this is my spaceship. It's actually really funny. The you know the relationship between the Doctor and Donna the first time they meet, it's so funny. The chemistry they have is hilarious. Um, so yeah, it was really funny scenes they had. Um, especially when we first see Donna look into the TARDIS for the first time. After they land on Earth and she's looking into it and it's just weird. It's just a really cool illusion. It's also funny when she mistakes the Doctor for being a Martian. That was really funny. But it's the basic idea of her meeting Lance, this African American guy, who they get supposed to get married, and it's just a lot of attempts in it's all the science stuff, and they end up defeating uh the spider thing. I can't remember what the name of it was. It's this big star thing. Uh, and it's actually really crazy. At the end of the episode, the Doctor offers her the chance to travel with him, but she declines because she's not ready for it. But she later she is a big mistake. So that's the Christmas special. Is basically that. It's basically encountering Donna and finding out about her, and it's really interesting. It's a really cool show and or cool episode. Um, and then begins the first series of of Martha's era. She only goes on for one series, but this is by far the best series of the Tennant era ever I've seen. It's really good. The first episode introduces Smith and Jones, which is basically about the Doctor meeting a new companion, Martha Jones, which is one of the most popular characters. I mean, there's a lot of companions, but she's one of those more popular ones. The other being Rose. At least of the Tenant era. I mean, they're all popular enough, but I think Martha and Rose just make that they top the list of most popular companions and most favorite companions. Martha just brought a lot of light to the show and made it whole again. Just made it great. It's just a great show. With her in it. And she's yeah, also an African American girl. And it's basically them meeting in it's like we're set up in a hospital, and it's about this alien, old woman alien disguised as a human who has this little straw that she like. It's like a vampire thing. Um, and she's basically like taking the blood from people and people who are human, and so she can hide out and so she can hide from the Jujun, which is basically alien police. And they basically take the hospital that Martha works at, and basically takes you to the moon, where where they encounter the Jejun, which are basically space police, alien space police, who look like rhinoceros, which is a really funny idea. And there's also the Doctor kissing Martha, and overall it's a really great episode. It was really good. I actually did a recreation of the ending of that episode, so you should check that out. Stop motion animation. I was as close as I can to it, and I have my TARDIS, you can see. Um, and so that was a really good episode. It really was. It's just the chemistry with that. It's also where I came up where I got my Madhouse intro. I got where I got the intro from the Madhouse intro that I use now. Your completely mad thing. That's taken from the episode. It's also the first time the Doctor loses his screwdriver. It breaks after he puts it into the machine, and it fries, and he has to get a new one at the end of the episode. At the end of the episode was actually amazing. Because I recreated it. And it's basically the Doctor getting a new screwdriver and showing Martha the TARDIS, and honestly, in my opinion, it is one of the best TARDISes I've ever seen. Or I mean, sorry, I meant to say one of the best TARDIS illusions I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen TARDIS illusions, but the one that we see in the end of Smith and Jones was by far one of the best ever. It was so good, just amazing. Because first she's like, Martha's confused about the TARDIS being big on the inside, and she even says it's bigger on the inside, and then the Doctor's like repeating in you know audible, just speaking, saying the same words audibly. It's a really cool episode. I just loved it. I thought it was amazing. Um, and then the next episode, which was episode 2, and that was titled The Shakespeare Code. And that one is when the Doctor takes Amy to take. I almost said Amy. The Doctor takes Martha to I think it's the 1500s, around Shakespeare's time, and he takes it to the time of Shakespeare. And honestly, I didn't like. Well, I didn't. I liked that. I did like it, but the way they cast Shakespeare, it just didn't agree. It didn't agree with me. I mean, my dad actually thought it was perfect. It was perfect casting, but I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty. It was a fairly okay casting choice, but I think what I have a problem with is the fact that he doesn't look exactly like the portraits, and Martha even makes a nod to the fact that he doesn't look like his portraits, because he doesn't, it's supposed to, in the portraits he has like his mustache and then a little thin beard, and then that's kind of it. The mustache doesn't actually go all the way, and his beard isn't even that big. It's like around here. It's like a small little beard. But the actor who plays the version of Shakespeare they have, he's actually he's a lot more full of beard, which is not what I saw. So basically, the plot of the episode is that he takes Martha to the town of Shakespeare, where these witches are plotting to take over the well, I think, or enact a spell that will cause the witches to come um to come out and invade the earth that Shakespeare lives on. called the Carry Nights. And there's actually some really great moments in that episode. From them when the doctor says before they went to the toilet, and actually Martha mentions something about like them stepping on a butterfly can change the can change the course of the human race, and then the doctor remarks saying, well, try not don't summon a butterfly then. What did a butterfly ever do to you? That was a really great moment. So it's a really interesting moment. It's actually really cool when so first of all you have Shakespeare writing the play for Love Blues 1, which is supposed to be a sequel, and then writing all these different and then when the witch comes, Lilith, she comes, this is supposed to be this highly attractive witch who is disguising her ugly self for a beautiful young girl who's like who's like seducing this other guy, or something like that. She's a witch and she's like taking control of Shakespeare with this potion stuff or this green mist and causing the rest of the well he's right as he's writing it he gets under the spell and starts writing more of things that activate the witches at the end of the episode. There's a great moment from the episode um where Shakespeare's trying to defeat the Carry Knights, and the Doctor can't think of anything, and then Martha steps in and says Expelliarmus, which is actually a spell directly from Harry Potter, the summoning spell, and that was a really great moment from the episode. Um, so yeah, that was a really fun episode. I didn't hate it, but it was actually just really good. And the episode led off with the Queen coming after the Doctor and sitting off with the tail, which is a direct reference to Alice in Wonderland, actually. We actually later get the answer to why the Queen is so upset with the Doctor. I'm not telling you because that's a spoiler, but I will review it later. Um, so it was just awesome. It was actually a really cool reference to Shakespeare himself when he puts on the little tough thingy, the little thing that goes around his neck, the white thing. Yeah, that thing. Um, there's actually a cool thing when he mentions his son Hamlet, which is a sort of a reference to Hamlet, the play that he wrote too. And there's actually there's a part where he says something. I think it's like to be or to be not. Um, I think that's what it was. And the Doctor's like, you should, that's not. And then actually Shakespeare's like, well, that's not bad. And then the Doctor's like, um, you should put that down. It's just funny. Um, overall, great episode. I thought it was pretty good. Um, and then Gridlock was the next episode, episode 3. Um, and this is a really interesting episode. It involved the same place, the same planet that the same setting that that the Doctor took Rose to for the first time. In his tendon incarnation. And that was New Earth or New Earth. I can't say it really well. I don't know how long it times to say it, but it's basic idea for that. So it's a really good episode. This actually involves the face of both at the very end of the episode. So basically, the idea is that the Doctor and Martha arrive on New Earth, the same planet, the same place that Doctor took Rose, and Martha even commented on it. And so basically, they're in this well, they're first in the rain, and they come to this place with people selling like moods. They're basically selling moods, um, sleeping mood, forgetting mood, all that stuff. Um, and then these two strangers come up out of nowhere, a husband and wife, um, and they basically kidnap Martha right in front of the Doctor because they need 3 passengers to get over to the fast lane. And Jen's right there, so that's what happens with that. And the Doctor says like because it's like he basically tells them they're closing tonight. And he gets into a car with this cat guy with his cat Thomas Brennigan, I think his name was. He his cat with a wife, I think, and then his kitten. It's really cute. See, with also finds kittens. It's just so cute. But then actually the episode has the macro, which is a classic villain slash monster from classic era of Doctor Who. I think it might have been from Pertwee or Troughton, 3 or 4, I can't, or 3 or 2, I can't remember which era, but it was from that idea, and then it's basically the Doctor is trying to rescue Martha and going on these like futuristic car thingies, um, and well the cat person is driving this thing for 12 years. And the fact that they can go 6 miles, 5 miles in 6 years is just incredible. And eventually the cat lady from the New Earth episode from series 2 comes to find the Doctor to get him to go to the face of Bow. Eventually the Doctor tells everyone, gets into the thing and tells them that the lady from the I think the visual voicemail or whatever, or the visual TV person tells them the place is all a lie and there's nothing there. Just drive up, and they drive up, and then Martha gets off and finds the face of Bo after a brief encounter with the Macra, and the Doctor's horror, and the Doctor goes to Bo with Martha and the cat lady person, and the face of Bo basically tells the Doctor the message that he is not alone, or Yana, you are not alone, um, and the Doctor is kind of it's just insane. We already know the answer to that one. So the next episode is funny because the Doctor promised he should only go one trip and then back home. He actually took one trip from the past, one trip to the future, and then he did take a detour to Manhattan, New York, 1930. Yeah, 1930, when the Empire State Building was still being constructed. And this is a two-parter. First part is when the Doctor goes to Manhattan. They find this uh, camp place for hobos. And they even made a guy named Frank who is played by Andrew Garfield, who played the first reboot of played Spider-Man in the first reboot of Spider-Man, Big Spider-Man. I won't do a review on that because I don't really care. It wasn't even that good of a reboot. I mean, better. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that. But this two-parter was the longest two-parter I've ever seen in my life, at least in my opinion. It really was. Just felt too long. First part dealt with them finding out that the dogs have somehow gotten out of the crypt that they came from at the end of series 2, and they're now roaming Manhattan and like talking about an experiment, and they're turning people into pigs. Hence Laszlo, who is this the boyfriend to Tallulah, who's this New York and girl who does like these like these stage play thingies, and sings a lot, and so that was really interesting because the entire plot is basically they're uncovering the Daleks again, and actually Simeon is a character. He's the same actor who plays Captain Panaka from Star Wars Episode 1. Um, which is really cool to see another actor from Star Wars. Actually, yeah, not another actor. The first actor from Star Wars come into the Doctor Who universe. It's pretty awesome. And he plays Simeon. I think it was Solomon. No, I can't remember. Solomon or Simeon, one of the two. Um, actually, I think it's Solomon. Yeah, it's Solomon. I don't remember. One of the two. So that's basically the idea of that. They find the Daleks again. They get taken to the final experiment, which is baking human Daleks. And also they get the boss the Daleks taken into hostage. I can't remember really say the word. Um, but he becomes a human Dalek, the first hybrid Dalek. And that's the part one. Part two is basically the longest episode. They basically go fighting against the Daleks, and basically finding a way to defeat them again, and it's pretty big actually. They find out everything about the Daleks. Just the fact that they've come back. Laszlo can't become a man again because he was turned into a pig. And overall, it's a great. The evolution of the Daleks was a really long episode, but also really interesting. Um, and it just shows a lot of things about the Daleks, like Dalekanium and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, and after that, the Doctor and Martha go back home. Um, to witness the Lazarus experiment, which is done by Richard Lazarus, who wants to become he wants to become young again. Basically, what the Doctor, how the Doctor is doing like that. I don't know, something like that. And basically, turns the experiment goes wrong. Turns into this monster. It's basically the Doctor, Martha, and her sister Tish, who's unusually attractive in this episode. um, and they basically help or stop Lazarus from killing all these people. And it's basically that idea. Um, actually, I think my favorite line from that is they're coming back after leaving Martha home, and then she's like, and then he's like, hold on, he said he was gonna change what it means to be human, which is which is the funniest sarcasm the Doctor has ever produced from him. It was really a great episode. Actually, what's really great about the episode is that Mark Gatiss actually played Lazarus with a yellow wig, a blonde wig. It was a really funny. It was a great episode too. Um, and then after that they take off. But not before Martha's mom leaves. Or Martha's mom leaves a message saying that the Doctor's not safe. Hints to the final three-parter of the episode. Um, and then there's 42, which is basically a re-edition of the Apostle Planet. And then the Satan Pit, but it's a different story. They arrive on a hot I think place. This hot kind of Apostle Planet type place. And they find out that this being is basically frying everyone, basically killing killing this person's crew. And it's also when Martha's mom keeps calling. Um, actually, no, she keeps calling her um, to have out something, and they find out this whole crazy thing, and the Doctor has to like leave, or has loses Martha like once, and then gets the thing into his head. He actually is the first time he talks about regeneration to Martha. Um, it's really powerful scene. It's actually one of the most explosive episodes I've seen in my life. From the Tennant era, because the class, it's actually a catchphrase that has been seen in this episode is "burn with me, burn with me." That's the idea, and it's just Doctor gets it, and it's just crazy. Um, and then the next two parts is a really interesting episode. Um, and that is Human Nature and Family of Blood. Human Nature is basically these people called the Family of Blood are going after they're going after the Doctor and Martha and TARDIS, and basically they're going after them. Well, they are going after them. The Doctor has to become human to hide from them, and which is a painful experience. He does it, and he ends up becoming this professor at an old boys' school before shortly before World War One. I think it's 1912. Yeah, 1912 because one of the family board members talks about 1913. But it's not in 1912. 1912. This boys' school it actually has an actor who's popular from a lot of TV shows. Thomas I don't even know. His first name is Thomas. I think it's Thomas Brody Smith. I think. I'll keep it wrong about that, but I think that's true. He's a widely popular actor. And that it's really interesting episode because the Doctor falls in love for the first time as a human doctor, human, and he goes by his F name John Smith. Um, sorry, excuse me, my so he goes by his F name John Smith, which is what the Doctor uses as an alias on Earth. Um, and it's basically him hiding out from the family blood, who eventually reveal themselves after 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 Jeremy Baines or Bates, I can't remember what that is. He basically goes to find beer, and it turns out to be this alien ship, and they take over him, and like three people become the family blood. Mother of mine, sister of mine, and father of mine. It's really weird names for that, but it is an interesting idea for that. But yeah, so this fat guy, this little girl, and this friend of Martha, they all become the family blood. Um, and then the end of the episode basically has it where in a dance, a doctor's slowly falling in love, and a dance, um, and then the I think it's the I think it's the Jeremy Bates character. He tells the Doctor which to change back. Of course, of course, the human Doctor doesn't know this, and he says your choice, your friend or your lover. You choose. It's just a great climax. There's also a great moment when the Doctor so Martha goes to the TARDIS to see the messages that the Doctor has left her shortly before he becomes human, and it's really great because he shows her all these like the instructions um from when he's human. It's a really great moment. So basically that's human nature is about that becoming about him, his human nature. Also really cool is we see the journal of impossible things, which has the 12 faces of the or the 11 the 10 faces of the Doctor, not including the World Doctor because he wasn't invented yet. Um, and he isn't a number. So, but yeah, that was a really great moment. Because Doctor Soul's trapped in the Fog Watch. It's really cool. Um, so yeah, it's really great. Um, so the Family Blood is a really powerful episode. It's like the Doctor comes with the Doctor and is like crying over the fact that he doesn't want to become the Doctor. He doesn't want to become John Smith, and Mary Joan Redfern, which is the human nurse that he's like falling in love with, and he's like he mentions a future with her. There's a big World War II or World War I thingy. The Family Blood they take these scarecrows and they go to war. It's just crazy. And they even have this gun that can vaporize people. It's really a really powerful episode. Um, and so yeah. Eventually what happens is that the Doctor finally becomes human again. Finally becomes the Doctor finally becomes a Doctor again and takes down the Valiant Blood, puts him in different dimensions, and the episode ends with John Redfern saying goodbye to the Doctor, and also uh, the little boy that is so curious about the Fog Watch. Um, and later the Fobot becomes I think in later episodes, and then Blink is by far one of my favorite episodes of the entirety of series 3. And I'm actually about my favorite episode of the entirety of the Revive series. That is with the introduction of the angels, weeping angels. Basically, the idea is this girl named Sally Sparrow and this guy named I can't actually remember his name, but they kind of work together to uncover the secret of the angels. Um, and it does not actually have the Doctor in it. Well, actually, it has a Doctor in it, but not really. Um, because the Doctor is trapped in 1969 with Martha, and it's basically up to Sally Sparrow to figure out the angels um, and like avoid them. It's actually written by Stephen Moffat for the first time. He's the first. He's basically his writing debut is Stephen Moffat. So yeah, it's a really great episode. It's just my favorite by far. Because it's the idea of the angels send people back in time, and that happens a lot. Um, so it's really a great episode. And I think the greatest moment about the episode was when the when Sally Sparrow looks at gets a looks at the bonus feature of a DVD and finds out that it has a doctor message on it, and he's like he's telling him about the angels about what they can do and how to sort of how to avoid them. And it, like tells him like don't blink, and blink the fast as you can believe. Don't turn your back, don't look away, and don't blink. Good luck. And then they fight against the angels, don't not blink, and they get inside the TARDIS. They find the hologram, and just everything goes crazy. And then they meet up with the Doctor, or at least Side Sparrow does, and then it becomes Sparrow Nightingale, because that's the guy. His name is last name Nightingale. And then the final part, the final three of the series, Utopia, the Sound of Drums, and All Lost Time Lords, is actually one of my favorite episodes of the entirety of series three. It's the penultimate episodes. Utopia begins when the Doctor encounters Jack Harkness for the first time since series one, and they go to the 500 trillion, which is basically the end of the universe, the end of the world, no, the end of the universe. They find the the uh, the feature kind, and they find Yana. Turns out that Yana is actually the master. Um, in secret, they only onto the Fob Watch. They kind of go to the place called Utopia, which is like a paradise. Um, then at the end of that, it's basically finding out about Utopia, and then turns out that Yana is actually the master after opening his web watch, and then he becomes the master. He goes takes the TARDIS um think the modern day Earth, and then the Sound of Drums is when the Doctor travels to um same place the master went in his new form because he regenerated for the first time, literally the first time. Not even the classic, not even the classic series actually had this. This is the first time the master actually regenerates in Doctor Who ever. In the classic series, he didn't really just he just shows him taking on someone's body, but this is the first time he actually regenerates into another person like the Doctor, but like it's different. And this one's played by John Sims instead of Derek Jacobi. Um, so yeah, I think it's great to have Doc Clarkins back in this episode. It really was a fantastic more of that series. And then the Sound of Drums is basically the master taking control of the government and having these these things and basically the Doctor camping out and then having the final ultimate part of it, having Martha's family in trouble, that kind of stuff. Um, it's just amazing. It's really an amazing episode. Um, so yeah, um, and then the last of the Time Lords finishing up was basically um, Gallifrey, kind of a hint of Gallifrey, and sense that the TARDIS is actually a paradox machine, um, and everyone's kind of trapped by the Master. The Master has a wife. Apparently the whole time of history is going through like the whole history and everything, um, and it's just amazing. The Doctor becomes old. He uses a lot of his technology with his latest screwdriver, and basically turns Doctor into this old guy. Well, first he becomes an old guy, and then becomes like this little old man in his cage. Eventually, they use the Doctor. They use the code Doctor and bring him back, and unfortunately the Master is shot by Lucy, um, who is basically this well, she's the wife of the master, and she suits him, and he doesn't really want to regenerate. And actually, this episode actually had the son of drums actually um had the Sound of Drums and Lost the Time Lords had the uh Tocopane, which is a really weird thing. It really was a great episode. It really was. Um, it just showed the dynamics of the Doctor and the Master for the first time since the classic series. Um, so yeah, that was a really great episodes. I just loved it. And also actually the last and this marks Martha's departure from the series. At least until the next series. Is as a regular companion. Um, it's just amazing. I mean, sad but amazing. She had an amazing run, and it was just great. It was very sad to have her leave. And then shortly after she leaves, the Doctor travels, and then the special called Time Crash that happens, where the Doctor meets the Fifth Doctor. Of course, because of a paradox, the Fifth Doctor looks aged because, well, the actor he's older. So Peter Davison back as the Fifth Doctor in a little special where they had to figure out what happened, what's wrong with time, and why they like meeting and whatever. It was a great episode. It really was. Just amazing. And even like have the Doctor talking about it, like how is travel going, everything like that. Doctor mentions the Master. It's just great. And then the special, the 2007 Christmas special, Voyage of the Damned. That was an amazing episode. It had Kali Minogue and as just like waitress person. It's basically the Titanic in the and has these angels that like want to kill you with these like halos. It was a great episode. Because it had the Titanic like running into the TARDIS, breaking into the TARDIS. It was a great episode. And the Doctor actually didn't wear his trademark brown suit. He was like this dinner setting tuxedo. It's really great. Kind of like with the Lazarus experiment. So it's basically that um idea. And overall, it's a great episode. You have this guy who sends everyone to Earth, and that's where the Doctor meets Wilfred for the first time. Um, so yeah, that's really a great It's actually a really fantastic episode. It actually introduced for the first time the Series 4 intro, um, which is a fantastic moment of that series was that. So yeah, and it was overall a great episode. It had a lot of things in it. It had Max, which is like I guess this modern head. And it had the angels, becoming with the Doctor. Like I love the episode line, "Take me to leader." That was great. And then the fact that that the little pocket money stuff gives this guy unlimited credits. I don't remember that guy's name, but it was a great episode. It had like characters like Bana Cafalata, which the Doctor really didn't want to pronounce that name. Um, but honestly, it was a fun episode. It really was. It was just a great episode. It had basically Titanic in space and Vega, um, and it basically uh, it was a very good episode. Um, because it set up a series 4. So yeah, overall, it's basically the plot is the Doctor the fights against the angel creatures thingies that malfunction a lot. Meets a temporary companion, um, Astrid, because it's funny about that is Astrid actually is TARDIS spelled backwards. Oh no, it's an anagram for TARDIS. It's actually scrambled. Um, so yeah, it's a fantastic episode. You have a lot of interesting things about the episode that I was really fantastic. Um, I mean, it was long. It was about the it was actually longer than any other Christmas special I've seen because most of them are just only an hour. But this was actually 70 minutes, but it was still pretty good. Um, yeah, I thought it was fairly good. Some sad moments, some good moments, but it was overall pretty good. So yeah, that this series 3 was by far my favorite series of Doctor Who by far. Just it's just amazing. It's visually amazing. And all the episodes are, I think, Blink, um, and the the uh the three part finale were great. Just overall amazing. And series 3 was by far my favorite series of Doctor Who by far. Just amazing. It was just amazing. Um, so yeah. Overall series 3, no complaints at all. I didn't say anything wrong with it. There really wasn't anything at all that was bad. So 100%, 10 out of 10. Probably gonna say a lot of this. Um, I didn't really see any problem with it. Just I didn't think it was that bad. I think the only episode that I thought was a little not accurate in terms of character casting was Shakespeare. That was the only episode. So maybe just have a okay. Because of that, a 9.5 out of 10. Just leave a point 5 rating. Um. So yeah. That'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, then why not give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more of these. Um, and I will see you next time for the next episode. Alright, see ya.